Hello, hello. Hello, kamusta mga babae? Angelina and the Georlyns. Hello, say present if you are not a basher. Comment down below. Say present na po mga kaibigan. Yes, hello everyone. Hi. Hi. Angelina and the Georlyns. Hello. Okay. Good morning, everyone. It is the only Angelina Georlyn. Here I am with my minions, Yaqoub, Bryan, and Mark, and we will be talking about two lessons today. One is commanding an audience via persuasion, and the next lesson will be writing the research paper. So, without further ado, let us start. Ay, yon. Hold up, guys.
All right, guys. Our first one is persuasion. The art of influencing someone's beliefs, attitude, or actions through effective communication. It involves presenting your ideas in a compelling manner to sway opinions, encourage certain behaviors, or inspire a desired response. So, persuasion is that you want to sway your audience opinions and try and get them on your side.
Wait. To add on what Yaqoub said, yes, persuasion is something or a process wherein the speaker tries to influence or convince the audience to change what they believe in or their behavior as an individual. Uh, Other than that, persuasion can also be powerful as it affects the choices and actions that people take. It can be through symbols, words, images. It can be done verbally or non-verbally. Persuasion can either be plain or subtle. If you really know how it works, it can really help you in persuading.
Right. Next, we have three appeals used to defend a claim. Appeal to logic. This appeal is effective in convincing audience through rational thinking, appealing to logic or to known facts generally accepted as a truth, usually known as logos. That one.
Second one is appeal to emotions. This appeal influences the emotions of your audience, building an impactful connection. Appealing to the emotions, particularly pity of your listener, is called pathos. So, appealing to emotions is like building this emotional connection with your audience, making them feel some sort of feeling when they hear you speak. You know, like, oh, I feel sad. This message is so, oof, you know. Yeah.
And appeal to credibility. Be honest, just say what you know. Appeal to your credibility, moral values, or to what your listener already knows about you. Is what is called the ethos. So appealing to your credibility is to show that you are a good person and try to let the people who already know you and try to appeal to their credibility of them knowing who you really are.
Okay. Let's try to use these three appeals in an example. An example, my seatmate, Casey Dalmasio, she has um, she has said that someone has stole her pen. And not rationally, you would blame someone who is close to you or like sitting next to you. So of course, I would be a suspect as well, and Via would also be a suspect as well. So, but I didn't steal anything from her, nor did Bianca. So, how would I use persuasion to persuade Casey that I did not steal her pen? So, first, you can use appeal to logic. You can say that, oh, I wasn't here during this subject earlier. I was in the canteen earlier. So, during that time, I wasn't in the classroom. I wouldn't be there to steal your pen. So that is what is true. That is appeal to logic. And then next, you can use appeal to emotions. Say that you simply did not do it, like you aren't that type of person to do it. Since I am like a close friend of Casey, I wouldn't do that to her. I would steal a pen from her. I would just ask that can I borrow your pen, ganon ganon. You would explain that that you are close to her, and you would rationalize why you wouldn't do it. And then appeal to credibility. You wouldn't even do it in the first place. You are trying to prove that it is not your intention. It will never be your intention to steal, and that is how to appeal with credibility. It is what who you are as a person. You are trustworthy and ganon ganon. That's how you can use the three appeals to defend a claim, defend yourself that you wouldn't steal from Casey.
Next are three types of audience that you have to cater.
So first is the supportive audience. It is a group of individuals who already share a positive disposition or favorable attitude towards a particular idea, cause, or speaker. So a supportive audience, you can already see that as a speaker if your audience agrees with what you are talking about, judging by how they react towards your message. Like you can see them either cheering for you or like being in a positive mood because of what you have said.
Next is wavering audience, group of individuals who are uncertain or undecided about a particular idea, issue, or stance. So a wavering audience is the people do not know if they're with you or not with you, and they're still deciding. So as a person who's going to persuade them, this is your chance to persuade them into your side. Because a wavering audience have no opinion if they are with you or not with you.
Then the third one is the hostile audience. It is a group of individuals who are strongly opposed or resistant to a particular message, idea, or speaker. So a hostile audience can somewhat be troublesome to the speaker's part. A hostile audience is simply anyone who has an issue with your topic or maybe the speaker themselves. Who knows? Well, you sometimes having a hostile audience, it can make you struggle in speaking out what you want to speak.
Question: how do you handle wavering in hostile audience?
So there's actually different ways to handle a wavering and hostile audience. You can just you can see by the expressions they show or display on their faces, and you can identify whether they are in support or not with your discussion. So what you can do is to create a nice environment for you and the audience. Break the ice, maybe like adding some humorous jokes or something, or maybe something that can help them relate, or something that can make them, you know, feel at ease. Yeah, that's it.
And To handle wavering audience, you try to get the opinions of what they want to hear. Try and say the words they want to hear and try to appeal to what they want. If you can waver them towards your side, then the audience will be supportive.
You can use the appeal of logos and ethos, what I've said earlier. Next lesson, we have writing the research paper.
Hello. So, I'll be talking about writing the research paper. Research is a
Quintessential.
quintessential aspect of learning. Learning can only happen if you observe the world around you, read whatever your eyes comes across, explore beyond the comfort zone, and discover what universe has to offer. Basically, actions that equate to to research. Being assigned a research task mean that you are giving a freedom to learn more about what you want to know. So basically, writing a research paper is basically exploring on what you want to know and basically just dig down deeper if you on the topic that you want to know. So here we have planning your research. First, work with a familiar subject. Of course, we need to work with a familiar subject when it comes to planning research. So it will be easier and it will be call this. It would be more convenient for you as a researcher. Uh, and second, try something new that piques your interest. So basically, try to plan a research that basically like basically catch your interest on the topic and browse through available research material. Of course, we need first before we choose a topic, we need to see in the internet if the um available let's call this websites are giving providing correct call this word
Sources?
correct sources.
Okay, wait. So here, when you choose your subject, of course, you would choose something that you would like or something that you are interested on, because it is also up to the researcher. Because when you are researching about something you like, you are more likely to be motivated on what to do and to continue the research, of course. And and researching, not everything can be researched, and it's also up to the sources that you are gonna get. So make sure as well when you get your subject, there is readily available research materials in the internet or journals that you can access. So make sure of that when you plan your research.
Yes. So finding primary sources, observation. So in observation, observing your surroundings entails very little effort to do. All you have to do is to open up your five senses to take note of everything that is happening around you. See, smell, taste, hear, feel. All these five human senses have to be active when you decide on holding observation for your paper. One particular observation is called ethnography. According to the we're not reading that. Ethnography or field research is a sociological method that explores how people live and make sense their life with one another in particular places. So basically, ethnography is you're gonna include yourself in, so you can observe on what's happening on the surroundings that you want, basically taking note of everything that you see around you. Yeah. And next, interview. If you decide to include interviews in your research paper, you need to put your people's skills to motion. Aside from observation, one more excellent primary one other excellent primary source is people themselves. So
interviewing must is very helpful way to get your data gathering basically on like what you see when you call this basically like uh,
Conduct your research.
conduct your research. Yeah, basically like you wanna see different perspective of their opinion and stuff like that. Planning and setting up the interview. Know which person that you want to interview for your research, and then contact him or her to schedule the interview. Keep in mind that that is
That it is you.
that it is you who is asking a favor
For the
for the interview. So basically, before interviewing directly, you need to plan first on who you will interview, so you wouldn't mess up, and it won't be very crumpled. Note taking. Of course, when we interview, we need note taking, so we know what they're talking about, and especially the most important part of note taking is having a recorder or voice recorder to like go back to the stuff that you interviewed to the um uh call this interviewer. Yeah, basically. um Finding sources in the library. So we have the way decimal system, DDC. Is a library system that used to organize books and other resource materials to keep track of who borrows and returns them to the library, and to determine which book are new acquisitions and which book are in need of reprinting. So basically, this stuff are like um
system.
system, yeah, encyclopedias and disciplinary guides. So that similar, once you have found a particular subject or class using DDC, it is highly suggested that you first consult encyclopedias and disciplinary guides to get good gist of your research topic. These kind of books have general information and offer the most important details of a subject. So basically, like this is also another way to find your source is going to the library. Basically, um, like researching on a book instead of using the internet, and you can get like general information about that and most important details that are not in the internet. So books, periodicals, newspaper, magazines. That's what I said. When there's no source, like there's no perfect source that you wanna find in the internet, you can find in the internet. You can find or research about. I mean, not research about. Take what you call this informations on books, newspaper, magazine, etc. etc. So here we have internet source. Um, as all we know, we all gather our source in the internet. Basically, like this is the highly technical. It is very easy and it's always around you. Basically, like just use your phone, use your laptop, just find the sources that you want to find in the internet and just search it up, and then you might able to find it. So view the URL. Basically, like the purpose does not only lie in easy retrieval of web page. You can also already have an idea that site that you already access is reliable or not. The last part of URL where you can see .com blah blah blah. Question the author. Deeming something as reliable or not entails the use of critical thinking. Stumbling upon online article that can potentially be of relevance of your research. Ask the necessary questions before citing or disregarding the site. So, do you have any idea of that?
Okay.
No. There is a question. Question the
Okay.
author.
Sometimes whenever we search something up, we can't just take it and put it on our research paper because we should make sure that our sources are credible. And when we see the authors and when we put the citations, we should make sure um, is this the actual author of the
Should be legitimate.
yeah, is this the legitimate author that wrote this article? So you should think to yourself first before you put it on your citation.
And of course, we have determine the timeliness. So if we're researching, we shouldn't be like the 1990s like that. Should be like the recent one, like 2015, around 2000, but not too late, like 90s, 80s, because that will be like very
Very
outdated. Check for detailed information, accuracy, and grammar. Of course, we need to check the details if it's really accurate and the grammar if it's really correct, or of course if it's not correct, then it's your research paper will be really messed up.
Wait. The reason why we should determine timeliness is because as the years progress, things change. So it's important to make sure that our stuff are very recent because times from before are different from times now. So we should make sure that we should get the most recent ones that we can find. Okay, making a working bibliography. So now when we have our research, it is important that we have our citations and a working bibliography. A working bibliography is a list of all the sources you have come across as you are doing your research. So every time you take the sources or citations, you should always list them down in your bibliography because what you took is not yours. It is from other sources and they have it is theirs and not yours. So you should cite it. If not, this will happen. Plagiarism. Both consciously and unconsciously copying someone's work and claiming the copy as your own without due to citation. It is considered as a form of dishonesty and raises the issue of intellectual property rights. So there are these common types of plagiarism. Number one, we have direct plagiarism. It is a verbatim copying of any part of your source material to your own research paper without including quotation marks, in-text citations, and a bibliography. So you're directly doing it. You have the intention of doing it. You're just copy pasting it or copying the phrase that you got from your source without including the quotation marks or the author names and the year or anything like that. That is direct plagiarism. You are directly doing it. It is obvious. Self-plagiarism. You're plagiarizing yourself, using your own previous work or a combination of the words you used in the previous works and passing it to your instructor as a new submission. I would see self-plagiarism as a way of ignorance and laziness because even though that you made it, you still have to cite yourself because it is in another article, it is in another source. You can't just put from another research paper to another that you made. Even though it is still yours, you still have to cite it. Mosaic plagiarism, also called patch writing, this means that the author attempts to paraphrase a source into his or her own paper but maintains the original syntax or sentence structure. Yes, guys, like what Sir Romel said, please remember this in making your outputs. Let's avoid plagiarism. Okay, from what I've said, I will compare mosaic plagiarism with another term later on. Accidental plagiarism. It is done unintentionally, mainly forgotten, usually due to carelessness. This is where we should take in mind where when we cite a source, we should always take in mind to cite someone's work or someone's phrase because it is not ours and it is their work. So we should really be careful when we do our research papers and do our citations to avoid these plagiarisms because it's not ours. APA Citation Guide. The APA, or the American Psychological Association, is the citation guide most commonly used in disciplines under the social sciences like anthropology, archaeology, history, and sociology. The title given to the bibliography page using the APA style is references. So when you do your bibliography, we are mostly gonna use APA. Even though you can use MLA, but for this we will use APA. So here are like examples of when we use citations. So basic format for the if your source is from books, we would put the name and then the year and then the name of the book and its edition and then where it's from and another I think no that's the name yeah and then from a magazine it is kind of the same or it's kind of similar with the books but here the page is identified in the citation and then newspaper that's where the pages are too and the page format and the name of the newspaper and then article from an online periodical. This is where like a link is included. So take in mind of how we would cite it in APA format. Okay, now paraphrasing, summarizing, and quoting. Paraphrasing, taking one paragraph into consideration and rewriting all of it using your own words. Okay, to compare mosaic plagiarism and paraphrasing, mosaic plagiarism is paraphrasing words that are not your own. It is paraphrasing sources that are from other articles and you are claiming it as your own. That is mosaic plagiarism. While as for paraphrasing, you are paraphrasing your own words. You are using your own words. Example, let me make like an essay and I have wrote it by my own ideas and all. No citations or sources from others. And I would rewrite it to another essay where it is more constructed nicely and that would be paraphrasing. But if I were to get a phrase from a source like example a book and paraphrase it that would be mosaic plagiarism. That's the difference of the both of them. Then summarizing calls for the gist of your source material. It is great shorter than the original body of text that you are trying to cite. So when you are summarizing you are just getting the gist of everything so it will be easier for you and your readers to read instead of a whole long paragraph. Quoting, it is the acknowledgement of any idea taken from another source by placing selected passages inside quotation marks. You are acknowledging that the idea you took is not yours and it is from another author or someone else, and you are not claiming it. You are just acknowledging what they have said. So you should put quotation marks. Okay, do we have time for game time? I think so. Okay, wait. Does anyone have any questions before we continue our game time? Meron? Okay. Okay. Let's start. This is for everyone. Where do you use persuasion in school, guys? Do you use it to extend your deadlines? Do you use it to convince to move the quiz next week? Ganun. What do you use it for? And is it helpful? During election campaigns, yeah, you use persuasion so that the students would vote for you to win in the election. That's very good. Very good. Okay, Johnny says for elections. All right. What else? One more. Come on. Other than Kyle and Jenny, one more. Yes, convincing the teachers to extend the deadline. That is very commonly used in school, and it is important to have those persuasion skills, no? Okay. Okay. Number one question, this appeal is effective in convincing audiences through rational thinking, appealing to logic, or is to known facts generally accepted as the truth, usually known as logos. Selling tickets for senior high school movies. True. The answer is there, guys. I'm not making it hard for you. Come on. A, B, C, D. What's the answer? I think A. Yeah, me too. I think also. Maybe it's D. Appeal to credibility. I think only. Okay, first A. First five, okay, it is A. The answer is there, guys. Okay. Be honest, just say what you know, appealing to your credibility, moral values, or to what your listener already knows about you is what is called ethos. So there, guys. There. I won't make you suffer or struggle. A, B, C, or D. I think it's D. All of the above. Like, okay. B, I say C. Okay, and okay. Thank you. It is C. Okay, here. Okay, both consciously and unconsciously copying someone's work and claiming the copy as your own without due to citation. It is considered as a form of dishonesty and raises the issue of intellectual property rights. Yes, it is recorded. Oh, A, copying. B, plagiarism. C, copyright. D, originality. I think it's originality. Originality on. It's originality. B? You guys sure? I think it's D. Originality. Okay, let's see. Plagiarism. Okay. It is a verbatim copying of any part of your source material to your own research paper without including quotation marks in text citations and a bibliograph. A. Direct plagiarism. B. Self-plagiarism. C. Accidental plagiarism. D. Mosaic plagiarism. Eris says A. Okay. Oh, Nabi says B. Okay. Gonzalez says B. Okay. Pia says B. Are you guys sure? Did you listen? Ay, nako. The answer is A. Direct. Okay. If it was self plagiarism, it would be copying your own to your actual research. But this is any part of your source material to your own research. Mm. Okay. Next, I think last one. Called patch writing. This means that the author attempts to paraphrase a source into his or her own paper but maintains the original syntax or sentence structure. A. Direct. B. Self. C. Accidental. D. Mosaic plagiarism. The one I compared earlier. The one I compared, guys. What is that? You know, keyword paraphrase. Paraphrase. Let us see. Mosaic plagiarism. Okay, thank you guys for listening through our video, and I would like to thank those who are participating. Thank you so much for listening, and that is our lesson. Bye-bye.